As noted, the qualifying for tomorrow's 45th annual Camping World RV Sales 500 was canceled due to inclement weather. However, starting out front, leading the field to green tomorrow based on his practice speed of 202 miles per hour in Friday's practice is Aric Almirola. He drives the number 43 Charter Ford for Richard Petty Motorsports. And in fact, two of the top three times yesterday were turned in by Aric and Marcos Ambrose, teammates over at RPM. So, Aric, you got to feel good about the horsepower that this car is generating as you come to a track, obviously, where horsepower is key.
Yeah, and I think more importantly for us to have both of our cars up there shows how well we work together in the draft. We went into practice with a plan. Me and Marcos got a big run on the pack and put up a good lap. We knew that there was a small chance for rain today. However, obviously under the circumstances, we thought it'd be good to put up a good lap, and just in case it did rain, we would be in a good position. So we had a plan and we stuck to it, and it worked out. So that was good. Anytime you can do that and start up front under any circumstances is good. So great run for us, and looking forward to the race with both me and Marcos starting up front. Shows how hard the guys work on their speedway stuff. We've not been as good in the past as we wanted to at the speedway stuff. They've continued to work hard at it, and our cars got speed. So now we got to go race for 500 miles and avoid all the chaos and hopefully be there at the end.
Thank you, Aric. And let's also meet his teammate who's up here today. That's Marcos Ambrose, fellow teammate over at Richard Petty Motorsports. He drives the number 9 DeWalt Ford. And Marcos, talk about the speed that the Fords are generating. Kind of reminds me, if I'm not mistaken, a year or so ago at Michigan, when you guys were posting some pretty fast numbers up there that day at Michigan International Speedway. So talk about being able to be up front as teammates. Drafting, obviously, is a key, a big strategy here. Pit selection, I'm sure that's going to help you out, too. But talk about the advantages and benefits of having great practice speeds yesterday, and now you're starting up front.
Yes, certainly. It was a great day for HP Motorsports because we had a plan going in. We knew what we wanted to try to do. We had an expectation that there was a chance of rain today. So, we played our strategy really well, I think, as a group, and we're going to get the benefit of that for the starting position tomorrow. Our cars have improved a lot over the course of the year on these superspeedway racetracks. I thought my car at Daytona was as good as it's been on a superspeedway for a long time, and I think that's carried over to this weekend. We've shown some speed, but it's not going to be guaranteed success on Sunday. It allows us to stay out of the riffraff for the first 5 or 6 laps, and the way it worked out here, I'm going to start directly behind Aric, and that's going to be good for us to be able to give him a good push, get him going, and hopefully work together to start the front here until the first pit stop.
Very good. We'll take questions now. We'll start with Reed and go down to Al and then to Stan.
I'm Reed Spencer with NASCAR Wire Service. Aric, what's more important to you as far as the getting on the pole, the starting up front or pit choice?
I'd say here probably the pit selection, especially when you have those yellow flag pit stops. Being in stall number 1, when they drop the jack, you just have to go a couple feet to cross that scoring line for the exit of pit road. So that's going to be really important. The race jumbles up here so much. It's not like a typical race where if you qualify on the pole, you have a good shot of staying up front all day just because of track position. This race, you can be leading one lap and be 16th the very next lap. So I think more than anything is just going to be our pit selection. It's going to give our guys a great opportunity to beat a lot of people off pit road and gain the track position late in the race when that opportunity presents itself under some pit stops and stuff like that. So I think the pit selection is going to be the biggest deal.
Let's go ahead and before we take some more questions, let's hear from our lining up on the outside pole, be Jeff Burton. He drives the number 31 Caterpillar Chevrolet for Richard Childress Racing, and Jeff certainly turned into some some fast speeds yesterday. You know what it takes to get around here, the high banks of Talladega. Just talk about your car and your outlook for this weekend.
Well, I think my outlook's probably about like everybody else's. I hope to miss the big wreck and, make it through that part and then, be there at the end. So it's, I heard Aric talking when I came in about pitch selection and all that. I think everything he said is exactly right. I don't think it really matters where you start here, but certainly having the clean in and clean out on pit road means a great deal. And it's kind of funny because I think it was a spring race here where everybody knew it was going to rain. I think I was 30th or something, and couldn't figure out how to run a fast pace for that. And then yesterday would be second. So tells you I really don't know what I'm doing. Pretty much confirms that.
Okay, let's go back to the floor for questions. I believe Al Muskowitz, Stan Creekmore, Bob Pockris, Nate Ryan.
Al Muskie from the Anniston Star. For Aric and Marcos, both of you guys in your comments had talked about you had a plan, when you went out there. Was it just to go out and run as fast as you could to beat possible rain, or was there a specific plan when you went out, something that you put together?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. We really did. We thought we looked at the weather and thought there was a chance for rain, and it's always good for the guys back at the shop to put up sort of that PR lap to showcase your race team. And me and Marcus are 18th, I think, and 19th in points. So we're right next to each other when we go out for practice, and they put us out in practice in order of points. So it just worked out to where we were right next to each other, and we went out and we were committed to drafting up to the pack to try and put up the best lap that we could for both the recognition lap of how hard our guys work on our speedway stuff, but also in case it did rain, and that worked out.
We had a lot of luck too. Just we went out, the three of us, 18th, 19th, and 20th. And just the
That's
way
18th, 19th, and 20th for those of you who didn't understand.
That's amazing. A guy from
Because
South.
I'm thinking, what the hell did he just say?
That's amazing. A guy from South Boston could understand that, right?
Hey, man, Ward's my brother. I'm an interpreter. That's what I do.
So as we rolled out, the pack. Normally the pack, the leaders slowed down on the backstretch some, and let everyone really pile up together. And our plan was to really just try to give ourselves a bit of room so we could draft into the pack. But as it worked out, the leaders of the pack really didn't hang around too long, and so we were strung right out. And for a first lap and a half or so, I thought we might have lost the draft completely. So you could put it down to a lot of talent, but it was actually a lot of luck as well that got us at the front here.
Well, let's go to Stan Creekmore.
Stan Creekmore with RPM. Is this working? With RPMtonight.com. I'm sorry. Jeff and either Aric or Marcos. It's pretty well known that drivers are looking for a very neutral feeling race car. When you made those laps, was that car as close to what you were hoping for during the race?
Go ahead.
Well, we were first, second, and third, so I think we were pretty happy. It's so situational. I mean, you can, when you're four wide in the middle of the car drives different than it does when you're four wide on the top. So it's really kind of hard to it sounds silly to mess with handling a whole lot here. The car's got to be fast enough to get done what you need to do, and you try to do everything you can to take downforce away and take drag away, and then it's typically handling's not an issue here. Although the last few races people have been have struggled with being a little bit loose. So I don't know that really in that situation running nose to tail, running a line down, that really the cars they almost don't handle, if that makes any sense. You're more we're more like we're just sitting in there driving. I mean, it's not like it's very difficult. So, when we get the handling to really come, if handling does come into play, it's more when we're 3 and 4 wide in the middle of the pack, and Russell Branham's in the house, and then we'll see what the handling is. But it was really hard to tell that yesterday.
Let's go to Bob Pockris, Nate Ryan, and then to David Caravello, Ed Hinton.
Bob Pockris, Sporting News. For Aric. For Aric, I assume Todd was there in the shop all week and
Yep.
helped prepare the car. So,
Yep.
So Does his absence? How do you handle his absence this week, and has it had any impact?
Well, it certainly has some impact for sure, but of all weekends for something like that to happen, Talladega's a pretty easy one. You just you try and get your car on the ground and try not to let it rub the racetrack too much to kill the speed, and you go drive it. There's not a whole lot for us to do, really. I mean, the setup stuff, like Jeff said, the cars are what they are. You just go out there and you drive it. So, I think it talks a lot about how well our race team is well rounded. We have a lot of guys at the shop that do a really good job with our cars. These cars were prepared several weeks ago. I think everybody at Richard Petty Motorsports has done a really good job to give us the best cars they can. And it's not just our car. You look at the 9 as well. We're both up here. So, I think a lot of it goes back to the guys at the shop. We stay so focused on our intermediate stuff and our short track stuff that the speedway thing kind of gets put over in a corner, and then you work on it a couple weeks before you go race again. And I think a lot of that goes back to the shop.
We'll go to Nate Ryan, David Caravello, Ed Hinton.
Nate Ryan, USA Today Sports. Following up on that, I guess for Aric and for Marcos, knowing that you have run and won with Todd Parrott in the past, what was this week like to have that news come out Wednesday? Obviously, it didn't affect your performance today, but was it a little bit of a scramble or a little bit of a blow to the team to kind of like step back and process it and then come here?
Yeah, absolutely. That's. I understand what you're asking, but the answer is simple. It's just yes. It was certainly unexpected. Something not something we were excited about by any means. It's definitely something that caught us all off guard, and it's something that we've had to just work with, on a day-to-day basis. Every day has been just a little bit different. So, just trying to work through it and do the best we can.
David Caravello, Ed Hinton. Go ahead, David.
David Caravello, NASCAR.com. Jeff, with 5 races left with RCR, what do you want to achieve, over the end of the string here? And I think so many of us think of you as being at Roush forever, but you've been at RCR for about as long as you were at Roush. And I wonder how much you think your time at RCR has sort of impacted your career and your legacy and everything like that.
Yeah, I've had a really good relationship with Richard. He's he's really good to work with. He's a good person. He does what he says he's going to do. In a tough business, it's hard sometimes in this business as things change to really do what you said you were going to do, and he always has. And I don't think neither one of us are real happy with the total amount of success that we had. But at the same time, we both know we gave 100% and did everything we could together. And I'm disappointed that we didn't have more success. I think we, when I went there, it was a bit of a gamble, but it felt right to me. It was a team that kind of needed to get rebuilt, and I think we did a really good job of helping rebuild that and get it to where it is. It was probably one of the best places to be, and then it got to where it wasn't. And then we did a lot of stuff. We made the chase 3 years in a row with all 3 teams, and took a lot of pride in being part of that. So, but ultimately with the 31, we just didn't have the success that either one of us really wanted to have, and that's disappointed both of us. But there's no hard feelings about it. We both know we worked hard at it, and we want to win. It's he wants to win, I want to win, and so the next 5 races are about that. It's really not very complicated. There's only a few chances left, so it means those races are more important. But at the same time, they're putting the same amount of effort into it, and there hasn't been any letdown in effort. It's we're trying real hard to finish up strong, and we'll see what we can get. But I do feel like we've been building. There's days we run really, really well, and there's days we run not so well, and but I feel good about the tracks coming up. Phoenix has always been a good track for us. Texas has always been a good track for us. Martinsville has always been a good track for us. So I feel like we got a lot of really good tracks coming up, and hopefully we can do something good.
Do you ever think back to that year you led the chase going to Martinsville?
Daily. There was. I thought I had a lot of chances at Roush to win championships, and to be perfectly blunt about it, we just didn't have everything together. We would either one year we'd have Pit stops couldn't get it done. The next year we'd have too many engine failures. Kind of like Mark's career too, where he had a lot of chance to win championships, and just it wasn't all together at the right time. We had the speed to win championships, but didn't have necessarily everything else. And then there were the year at Childress that we had the best shot. We won the second race in the chase, had a pretty good lead, and went to Martinsville and broke a motor, and then went the very next week with 3 races left and blew a tire, and boom, you're done. So they're never over till they're over, and that's watching this championship. That's everybody keeps saying it's a 2 or 3 car race. No, not yet. And but that year, honestly, I really thought we had everything in place that year to get it done. Pit crew chief, everybody was in sync, and it just didn't work out.
Let's go to Ed and then Al Pierce.
This is for Jeff. Kind of back. Oh, you're Stephen. Ed Hinton, ESPN.com. Jeff, I'm trying to figure out how you managed to qualify right in between 2 guys who had a plan. I'm trying to get clear on.
I was along with them, man.
Oh, so you were in that same draft.
Say those numbers again. 18th, how you say it?
18th, 19th, and 20th.
There you go. That's his best Alabama he can do. Let's do it a little slower.
Yeah.
Honestly, there were 4 of us that went out, and it just worked out where the 4 cars, they got far enough back to where the front pack was, as Marco said, they kind of got doubled up, and once they got doubled up, then here we come. So I didn't have a grand plan. Like I told you in the spring, I had a grand plan, and I think we were 30th. And here I didn't have a grand plan, and we were 2nd. So,
but you enjoyed the ride.
Yeah, it worked out well.
Thank you.
Glad they had a plan.
Take one more question. Anybody else? Who's got one? Jim Utter, Nate Ryan. Actually, 3 more. Jim Utter, Nate Ryan, Bob Pockris.
Jim Utter, Shaw Observer for Aric. Having some downtime, have you been able to take some time to talk with Sammy just about the way forward for the next several weeks to close the season?
Yeah, we have. We've had a lot of downtime, believe it or not. Yeah, we have. We're working on a plan. I'm sure they'll announce a plan next week on our plans for the rest of the year to move forward. So we just got to work through that. We'll keep that internal until they're ready to announce it. But we have sat down and talked about it and tried to come up with the best solution for what's best for us. I'll reiterate, I said it on Twitter yesterday or Thursday, but Todd Parrott is a good person. He's a good crew chief, and he's a good friend of mine. And I think he's got a lot of support and a lot of people rallying behind him to get through this difficult time. So that being said, we obviously have a job to do, and we got to go out and race and do what's best for us. So we got to figure out a plan.
Okay, let's go to I think I said Nate Ryan, Bob Pockris.
My question is for Jeff. There's been a lot of talk about how sandbagging won't work as a strategy Sunday the way it has in the past, and that might be tied to the new car. As somebody who's been coming here for 2 decades and has witnessed all the divergent kind of tactics that you have, from tandems to laying back to run up front.
2 decades?
Appreciate that.
I didn't mean to point that out. That's meant as a sign of respect,
That's
of course.
a polite way of saying a long time.
What do you make of Sunday's race? And do you expect to see the chase contenders probably have to run up front, because hanging back you might lose that draft and put yourself in a bad position?
I disagree. I think that you can sandbag. I don't think there's any reason you can't. I mean, I think we saw it yesterday. I one time fell back just to kind of see how far you could get back, and I sucked right back up to the front pack. So I think you will see some of the guys in the chase ride around. I think you'll see some of them trying to lead as many laps as you can. I think we'll see a typical Talladega race where, some people just aren't comfortable running every lap in the front, and some people, are. So I don't agree. I think that you can, when you go, if you ride around, when you go is what's important. But if it's a 188 lap race and you take it easy for 100, there's no reason why you couldn't get back to the front in 88 laps. I mean, there's no reason in the world. But so I don't know. I mean, I think you'll see a mixture of stuff. these races are crazy, man. We go single file sometimes for no reason. And I don't understand why that happens. You just never know what's going to happen at these races. But I don't agree with not being able to sandbag.
Bob Parker's final question.
Bob Parker, Sporting News. Jeff, since we've been talking about plans, can you talk about future plans at all, what you're going to be doing next year? There's been a lot of rumors that maybe you're the prime person for that MWR R&D car.
Like I told you, I feel really good about what's going on, and when I can talk about it, I can talk about it. I'm really comfortable with where I am, and the opportunities that have been presented to me last month has been really interesting. Maybe one day I can talk about some of them because some are crazy, but it's been interesting. It's been a kind of interesting last few months, and but I'm really comfortable about where I am and what I'm going to be doing, but I'm just not in a position to talk about it. But I promise you, when I will, I can.